on the bottom right hand of your screen. Could you hit that subscribe button so we can grow the channel? Hit the like button and also tell your friends, just so we can get this momentum on the right way, the right trajectory on the way up. So as we go into it, so just going into it, let's look at the Bitcoin chart before we get started. Obviously there's been a bit of good news today, but as you go back to my previous videos on the daily, this was this major support line which I put in. Going into it, let's look at the Bitcoin chart before we get started. Obviously there's been a bit of good news today, but as you go back to my previous videos on the daily, this was this major support line which I put in, and obviously we broke through it, and this is where a lot of sort of panic was settling in, thinking that we could be dropping down to the next levels towards the 24s and even towards 19. But as you can see, we've had a nice bullish breakout on the daily, and I'll close this in on the hourly. So there it goes. So this blue line is my support line on the daily, and as you can see, we've broke this, and we've been channeling for since around about the 13th of May in between these levels nicely. So it had to make a decision at some point, and it's chose to break out. It's come to retest, and it's broke out again, and then now we're retesting. So as long as we stay above this level here, the 31 area, we could be in for some more movement. And the next real resistance there, well, we've got some resistance around 32, but up towards the 333 level, this is where I've put my mark in, where we could go towards 33 before we get some more resistance. So just as we go into the farming space, we always look at Bitcoin because we correlate with Bitcoin, and as Bitcoin breaks out, well, this could be a significant move, but it could also be a fake out. We could also drop and fall back into the channel again towards the 29 area. As you can see, it broke down and broke back in, where this time it could break out and then come back in again to these areas. So we'll just see how that goes. But let's just jump into the first one, and as always, this is my favorite, Grape Finance. So as you look at the market cap now, we are growing fantastically now at 9.5 million, and we've just been on a steady trajectory for a while now. I've been in it, and as you can see in a minute with the chart when I show you, I just want to show you. So in the winery, this is where I am at the moment. I started off with one wine. I've managed to compound this up to 3.4. I claimed all my rewards earlier, and I've distributed them in between to the liquidity pools, and also taken some off the table. And there's my estimated reward daily, which is $12.70. But this is just on the wine. So as we look into the vineyard, I'm in the Great Mim LP, and this has grown as well. I claimed them yesterday, put that into the wine, and as you can see, guys, the APRs and the total value locked is just been so steady. It's one of my favorite ones, really. And this is the wine Mim, and this has also grown as well. And all I do with them is just add these to the winery and build them up, and I've managed to build it up from one wine all the way up to 3.4. So not too bad, just compounding away. And there's the epochs. So if you don't know what the epochs is, basically that's just the cycles. The cycles go in 6 hours. I think there might be 6 hours. So we've had 536 epochs, and very little of that have been under peg, meaning where it hasn't been printing. We've managed to burst back up above that 1.1 time weighted average price, and which is obviously a MIM, and we can get that going and printing off again. So it's been an absolute pleasure to be in Grape Finance. Obviously we've got the nodes that were discussed in an earlier video, and these are the amount I've claimed, and this has just grown again. And you've also got the rebates now, which is a new system that they're operating. So if you can read through this yourselves, it'll tell you everything that you need to know about it. But if you look at the bonds, we've got the raffles, the vaults, the partnerships, and this has just been growing fantastic. So this is what I want to show you on the wine chart, actually. So we had this massive drop in the market, which everything else just tanked, actually. And we found a bottom around about $68, and we had this massive increase. And this was the line that I put in for a breakout, because we've managed to punch at it once, we've punched at it twice, and 3 times we've punched at it. So this was my target for the gap, because with this massive price dump, we had a big gap to fill. So as you can see, I put my mark here for the breakout and then continuation, which it did. So on the 20th, we had this lovely breakout. It was a fantastic breakout, as you can see. We've come down, retested, and this is where I expected the continuation. And we've done so. This was the target price. So if you were buying wine down at these areas at the breakout for $171, the target was in between here, which we did between, was $236, and we've managed to break that. So that gap is totally filled now. So the sort of continuation is, what do we do when we get to these levels? So these are the next sort of resistance, and the major resistance up at the 364 level, which I've marked. So this is a lovely continuing breakout. We've come up here and we've come up steadily. Nothing's overextended. It's all quite compact and correlated, so we could burst out even more, which is great. But like I say, guys, the wine's been printing every day. So like I say, I bought in very high. I bought in around $500, and it tanked out to 17. I wasn't worried because we were printing grapes and we were utilising it and putting it back into the winery. So from 1 wine to 3.4, which is not bad at all. So when the prices do hit the all-time highs again at some point, this will be worth significant more. So I'm quite happy with that. So just like I say, guys, this was the area that I was marking. If we hit this area, we've went past the target fill price, and now anything's an option. So I just wanted to show you that, and it was quite a lovely trade if you were a trader. Just that breakout. So guys, that's where I am on Grape Finance. So I just want to show you something. So when I started, I had no AVAX. So with using this the reward system, I've got 0.45 in my account. So these are for transaction fees and stuff like that, which is very little on the AVAX blockchain. So I love it. I love this ecosystem. And also, the crypt tip that I'll tell you always is use a Trezor or a Ledger. So this just takes it off store. It's like cold storage. You need to physically OK it before anyone can send it. So I've managed to, at the moment, 9.4 AVAX. If you wanted, guys, the price of AVAX at the moment is $26, and I'm earning like 12 a day. So just say every 2 days, if you wanted, you could swap it for AVAX every day, and you would get, if you look at its all-time highs at 125, which I think it can definitely break that in the next run up towards the fifth leg, or should we say the next wave of bull market time. So we could hit this 125 no problem, and we're down here on the 25 area. So I'm trying to accumulate as much as possible at these levels. So I've managed to accumulate 9.4 at the moment, and if it does go towards its all-time highs, 125, then my initial investment of £1,000 is that's just recovered quickly anyways, and that's not without Grape Finance doing its magic. So as you can see, 9.4 every day, every couple of days I could swap that for AVAX if I wanted and build up my AVAX, and that's why I'm glad at these prices, because I can accumulate a lot more for a cheaper price. And as you can see, like I've just said before, we're $26 for an AVAX, and its all-time highs are 125. And if we look at Bitcoin, if it does start going towards these highs again and start filling the gap towards 40, then it's going to drag the rest of the market up. So I just hope it consolidates for a little bit longer so I can accumulate more. So that's just a quick one on Grape Finance on the AVAX ecosystem. So the next one I want to jump into is Spooky Swap. Now Spooky Swap is on Phantom, and that's another great project I like with Phantom. I know that's been absolutely battered, well, like everything else has at the moment, but this is my strategy for that. So I'm just going to change this to the Phantom network. So guys, you've got Grape Finance, which is on the AVAX network, and you've got Spooky Swap, which is on the Phantom. So you need to make sure you've got multiple ecosystems on your MetaMask. And if you look at a previous video, that's another crypt tip on how you can add different blockchains to MetaMask. So as you can see, I'll just go to my portfolio, and I think I started off with about £1,700 worth of Phantom. Obviously that's been decimated because, like you say, the market tanked. But as that's been going on in the background, I've been in these LPs, and what I've been doing is I've been staking my well, I've done an LP of Spooky Swap and Phantom, and I've been earning the Boo token, which is basically it's a Spooky Swap token. And I got into this when it was around about $17, and obviously that's been decimated down to 4. But I still believe in this project, so I've been sort of stacking me Boo as much as possible. And then there's another project you can go into called Liquid Driver. So once this hits around about 1, so it hits 1, I harvest them, then go into me assets, and what I do is I go onto the stake Boo. So I know it sounds mad Boo, but what I do is I stake the 1 Boo, and that gives me the X Boo. And then all I do is I go onto this. So it's called Liquid Driver. Now this is a project that I've been sort of looking at on the sidelines, and I've just sort of entered. And as you can see now, it's not much, but it's starting to. I've only been in it like not even a day, because I was in the Luna, and we all know what happened with that. So I was staking all my X Boo in Luna, and obviously this was around about 8 million, I think, and obviously it's just decimated. So the next best project that I looked at was the Liquid Driver. So what I'm doing is I'm basically staking my X Boo and earn Liquid Driver just while the Boo token's down at $4. So I definitely think it can reach its all-time highs again, and that was, well, I don't even know what its all-time high was actually, but I know I got in at around about $17. So I could just quickly, if I could quickly show you guys the token and see what it actually was. We can have a look what it actually was. So Spooky Swap, what was its all-time highs? We'll just click on it and have a look. So its all-time high, where are you? So its all-time high was nearly $40, and now with that, well, I got in at 17, roughly halfway. So even if we can start climbing back towards them, I'll be more than happy. So that was just a quick overview on Spooky Swap. So this is the Liquid Driver. So this is the token that I'm staking for now. So as you can see, the total value locked is 59 million. There's the market cap. Liquid Driver's on about $3, and the circulating supply. And also you've got your own farms on here. So one thing that I did pick up on here is, so you've got your Spirit Swap, which is another DEX. You've got your Spooky Island. So if you look on mine, if you look on my farm, I've got Spooky Swap and Phantom, which is giving me, I think it's 50%. Yeah, so it's 50% APR, and the liquidity is just, let's say 10 million. If you go into Liquid Driver, you can look at the same tokens, the Boom Phantom, and it can give you 67%, which is an extra 17%. But if you look at the total value locked, it's a little bit less. I know I go towards total value locked more secure wise, so 11 million is better than 800,000. So you could, depend on your risk tolerance, you could take all your liquidity out of this, and then you could just put it straight into Liquid Driver and earn an extra 17%. But I've been in this a while, and I'm just happy letting it grow in here. So 50% is still fantastic, so I don't want to be too greedy going for that. So that was Liquid Driver, the new, like the better project from Luna, which obviously we don't want to discuss Luna anymore, but I was busy basically staking me X Boo for Luna, but now I'm doing it with Liquid Driver. So you might as well just utilize it instead of just growing your Spooky Swap. You might as well utilize it and stake it for more. So moving on, let's jump on to Elrond. So Elrond Gold, guys, this has been a little project that I've recently getting into, actually, to be honest. I've bought Elrond a good few years ago, and I've basically been delegating on the actual app on the wallet and earning on there. But obviously with everything, I love farming, and the more I've looked into the MEX program, the more I've been bullish on it. So I've jumped into this. I've got my first harvest, and I've reinvested it all into the MEX and lock MEX pool. And as you can see, this has grown, and when this hits $25, you can harvest. And I'll put a link in the description, or even look at the top right hand screen now. There'll be another video that shows you all about this specifically. But this used to be $10, and now they've moved it to $25. I'm assuming at some point it will move back to $10, because that's what the talk in the town was. So when this hits 25, I'll harvest it. I'll reinvest it in here. And the same with me riding E-Gold as well. I'll also do the same. This is nearly at the time where I can harvest. So I'd see another day or so I can harvest that, and I can just build up the lock mechs. And it's just to show you on Twitter, because I follow decks, the Maya decks a lot, and these are quite active, mostly pretty much every day. This was an hour ago about the UTrust 2.0 coming. So this is like the DeFi ecosystem, and it's just telling you all the criteria for it on UTrust. And this is the ever expanding L1 network. So the more expanding there is, the more opportunities there is, the more mechs which will get burned, taking it out of circulation, the better it is for the Maya Dex exchange for scarcity, which can obviously bring the price higher. So these are just if you go through the thread, it just tells you all about these, about the mex pools, the entities, the egold.info, the order, the EDOR, I think that is, the eCompass, and this will go through the threads of each one. It'll give you a link to each one so you can do your own research on them. And there was another thing I was going to show you about. I'll go off this thread actually, and as we go further down we should come towards, so these give you the reports every week. So this is from the 21st to the 27th. So the total value locked was 564, so well over $500 million. The volume was 32 million, and the max burnt is, so 330 million was burnt, which is quite a decent number. But when you've got trillions of mechs in circulation, it's not going to put a hit in it just yet. So that's why we're looking for more projects to build on it to burn more mechs. Because right now I think it would take about 75 years to burn through all this. So you wouldn't get any scarcity and you wouldn't get any sort of price rise in mechs. But the more people that build on it, like Holoride, ZoidPay, Ethereum, BAT, and obviously the news that we've just discussed there about UTrust, the more people building on this, the better it's going to be for mechs. So once we hit that sort of trajectory where it's going to be turning round, the tables are turning, then we're going to be burning more than what we're accumulating. So it's going to be exciting times, because that's when it does start rising the price. But it's not going to happen overnight. This is going to take a bit of time, and while the prices are very low, that's why look at the prices, it's nothing really, and that's why you can accumulate lots and lots at a very early stage. But if you're in nice and early, you can make a lot of a profit from it. So there's loads of different strategies you can do, like on the Denver, there's different ones where you can either stake and swap them straight back to L1 gold if you're more bullish on there, or you can just grow the MEX token. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. But with my strategy is, I believe in the MEX token, so I'm going to accumulate as much as I can and just ride the waves. And this is about the UTrust. If you want to look for the token, basically it's saying the UTrust token gets deployed on L1 as native ESDT to kickstart the Web3 payments revolution. So this was only May the 26th, and this is just a quick read if you want to go through it. It's just telling you all the criteria and what's going to be happening. Basically it's towards the payment and merchant yield, which I love, because when you're looking at 12,000 transactions a second, we can grow this network massively, so we can take the big boys on. And that's all I'm thinking about. So guys, with L1, that's just a quick overview on L1. And last but not least, this is me sort of dark horse, and this is the VEX change, and this is with VeChain. So I've been in here a while, well not a while, I would say about six months. And what I've been doing is, basically I just added an LP with me VeChain. I think I added about 6,000-7,000 VeChain, and with the VEX token I just split them in half, put a 50-50 LP, and I think it was $400 at the time, but as we know, that's went down with the price of the crypto market, and this was right up towards 10-12 million I think, so the pool size is reduced. But I've just been growing in my VEX, and the VEX token at the moment is 30p. When I was in, it was about 85. So I'm not touching it yet. All I'm doing is just letting this build. Once it builds to a substantial amount and the price comes back up again, I'm just going to swap it for VeChain and just grow my VeChain again. It's just simple as that. And basically all the pools are just the same, but they're just on different ecosystems. It's having a little bit diversification. And if you want to go on to vexchange.io on Twitter, you can follow these, and you can go onto the Discord, but they're not as so active on Twitter. This is the main pinned one in March, but the last one was May the 10th, and it was maybe a week and a bit ago, and this is just, they've had 508 tweets. They're not as active as, like, say, the Dex one on Maya or Grape Finance, but it's still a great project, and there's more farms growing in there. So like I say, I'm on the Vex and Vet one. You've got I don't even know what the names are, these ones, but you've got the MVG Vet, and you've got Safe Haven, which I'm invested in, and there's a video on my playlist that's showing you about the Safe Haven and VChain with their partnership and running a node, which I have got. I'll show you how to run a node, and obviously get claims of all the rewards in the ecosystem. And these are the other ones, and there'll be more as more people build on it. The more pools there's going to be, and the more attractive it's going to be. So hopefully, guys, with Bitcoin at a nice little breakout, let's see if we can break this area and start heading up towards the 40k mark. But let's just see. Like I say, we don't know what's going to happen with this. We don't know if this decides to jump back down, and then the market's going to follow it. But like I say, long term, guys, if you've got the long term mindset, then basically we should be okay. So I hope that wasn't too long for you, trying to get through all these, but I just wanted to show you what I was doing on different farms, and you can sort of get an idea of how it works on different farms, different ecosystems. But other than that, guys, that's it. So once I get some more updates on other projects, I'll do a tutorial on them and show you how to get involved, should you want to get involved. But while the market's low, you should take advantage of these low prices. And like I say, I can gain a lot more now than it rises a lot more in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be paying more for it, so I want to pay a nice low price, get a nice bag, and then watch it take off. But who knows what will happen. We'll see what happens with that one. So guys, like I say always, if you like the video, hit the subscribe button. We'll try and grow that up to 500, and like I say, I'm going to do a 500 subscribe giveaway. Tell your friends about it who are into the crypto space, who might like DeFi and earning profits that way. But until the next video, guys, take it easy, and I'll speak to you all soon.